and just where are you as far as adjusting and adapting the new elements of this offense to what was already in place?
Yeah, I mean, for sure being asked to do some things, but I think they're all things that that I'd want to take, that I want to take control of, putting more of it in my hand. Whether it's just getting from one play to another, whether it's calling my own plays certain times during 2 minutes, all things that I think makes the quarterback position special. So more than anything, happy I get to take on these decisions and some of the things I'm being asked to do.
What have you thought about your camp in general, just as a whole? Like, how would you assess how your camp's gone up to this point?
I mean, it's going well. I mean, I'm a guy that's tough on myself, so I mean, I'm never to the point that exactly where I want to be, but always getting better. For sure, can say that. Feel very comfortable in the offense, comfortable with the guys, getting adjusted with communication of the new terms, new words. That's all been almost second nature, I guess you can say now, and kind of right where I need to be. And I feel very comfortable with the offense and where we're going as a team.
Very comfortable, but Matt, go ahead.
Dak, Steven mentioned earlier this week that after Amari and Michael and CeeDee, Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown have really kind of distinguished themselves over the camp. Where have they most impressed you, and where have you seen that growth from them?
Yeah, just their playmaking ability. The ball's in the air. Both of those guys feel like it's their ball. Those are two guys that you can almost throw 50-50 balls to, and they're going to come down with it more times than not. Very smart. Don't make many mistakes, if any, at all. And I mean, I think you've seen over the last couple of days in scrimmages, both of them have caught touchdowns and made big plays for this offense. So they're just going out there and doing exactly what they're asking, letting their game speak for themselves.
You mentioned feeling comfortable. How hard has that been, though, Dak, with like all the COVID protocols, the new coach? I mean, you've had a lot thrown your way this offseason, this summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have. So I mean, to sit there and say it's been tougher on me than it is on others, that'd be a shame. But it's just a challenge I've accepted, I've taken on. And as I said, I feel comfortable right where I am, and feel like I'm where I need to be.
Dak, it's James Slater, NFL Network. How much is having Kellen Moore around help just to have that continuity there? Your coach was just on the reporter's call with us saying that he's really tried not to step on his toes. Have you seen that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that continuity's been huge, been important for me, and not just me, but I'd say everybody within this offense, from some of the veteran offensive line guys to the receivers. And I had to talk early on with McCarthy, and it was just the importance of it being Kellen's show and the way that he does things. Is majority of the quarterbacks you look in the league that have had a lot of success have stayed in the same system, and so that was the big importance for him, is to keep me and the rest of this offense in the same system and take what we've done over the past few years and grow on that. We've had some success, but we're just trying to take that to the next level, and that's what he offers us.
Yeah, 2 years ago when Travis wasn't around, you didn't know that he wouldn't be around until camp had started. What did you notice different, if anything, about Joe and the way the communication's going between you, the offensive line, and calling protection this time?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say starting off with Joe, just the demeanor and just the confidence that he has. As you said a couple of years ago, I don't think he was too positive that he was going to be running the show for the whole year or not. But just the professionalism, just the role he's taken on of being a leader, of making the initial calls at the line of scrimmage, communicating really well, not just me, but the other guys on the offensive line. It's a completely different place than we were 2 years ago, and Joe's a way better player, way smarter, and we all are, especially myself. So just that tandem of me and him working together with the rest of the guys, it's been great.
What have your impressions of Trayvon Diggs been? I know obviously on the other side of the ball, but what have you seen in terms of his growth throughout the camp?
Yeah, he's a great player, very athletic. When the ball's in the air, it's just as much his as it is the receiver. And that's something that jumps off immediately when you watch tape or when you're just out there throwing against him. He's a special player, has all the talent in the world. He's a huge competitor. He's always talking to me after practice about what I'm looking for, what can he do to get better. When you have a guy like that on your team, it makes you happy that he cares. He cares that much, and you know he's going to do his job.
Dak, when CeeDee Lamb was drafted at 17, I think there were a lot of expectations for him making a significant contribution as a rookie, even though the offense is as good as it has been in recent years. But now, all this time later, what do you foresee for him early in his rookie season in terms of the role he'll play and your process of developing confidence in him?
Yeah, I mean, my confidence is to the roof with him. I mean, when he came in, I mean, I had high expectations for him because of the guy that I initially met in the offseason when we were throwing and when we were getting together. You could just tell the type of guy he is, the type of player and type of competitor he is. And so my expectations for him rose immediately from that meeting. And then to get into training camp, to see what he's done, to see what he can do, I think he's had as good of a camp as anyone has, any position on this team. And it's exciting. As I said before, he's going to play a huge role in our success, not only this year but in the future. And I'm excited for him.
Dak, we haven't spoken to you since the shooting of Jacob Blake. Can you tell us a little bit about that team meeting on Thursday, and what's your role as a leader when the team comes together to try and figure out what y'all can do about social justice?
Yeah, I mean, very unfortunate. Just another situation that we see. We need help. We need help as communities, as people. We need to come together, help one another, support one another in love. And I think that's what those team meetings are about, is how do we do that? To educate ourselves, to know the importance it is to vote and have the right people that are representing us. And so that's what that team meeting was. And we've had meetings past that. And all of them are kind of, I'd say, private for the most part, but it's about how do we help one another, how do we help one another feel safe, how do we help our community, and then obviously be transparent enough to hopefully help this country in the sensitive time that we're in.
You mentioned some of it's private, so it sounds like you might not be willing to share the next steps yet, but can you talk a little bit about the conversations you've already had with local officials through the Protest to Progress initiative y'all started?
Yeah, I mean, I've had some personally with my group, with my foundation, as we're trying to get this program started. As I said, to gain trust from the community, the law enforcement, and vice versa. We need them and they need us, but more importantly, we need to trust that trust is both ways. And it's just such a sensitive time we're in. It's very unfortunate, but I think the best thing we can all do is educate ourselves right now. And just because we're popular doesn't mean that we're politicians. So I think we all need to be better at that, at educating ourselves and figuring out exactly what it is we can do and the particular role we can play within our communities, and then furthering that.
What decision have you guys made, if any, at this point about how you'll handle the pregame national anthem?
One more time.
What have you guys decided about as a team and as a group of players about how you'll handle the national anthem?
Yeah, I mean, I think more importantly, we've had, as I said, private conversations, and it's about expressing yourself. I wouldn't say it's going to be about expressing one idea, and that's where we are in this country right now. Is individuals have different thoughts, different perceptions, and different feelings than their neighbor. So for you to force your opinion and your perception on somebody, I think isn't very important right now and doesn't matter. So right now it's about listening to the other man, having empathy for him and understanding where he may be coming from. So I think if anything, you'll just see guys expressing themselves, and then more so from that, you're going to see people supporting one another and loving one another. Then we'll all be working toward a common goal, which in the game of football is winning, but in life, I think it's love and equality.
So you think more than a unified stance as a team, it'll just be up to each individual what they're feeling at that moment and what their stance is?
As I said, I mean, those are more private conversations, and I can't say that there's been one direct answer or one direct way that we're going to go about it, but I sure hope so. That's what this country is about, the freedom to do that, the freedom to express yourself. And as we've heard Mr. Jones talk about grace and sharing grace and having grace with players and what they want to do. So if I had it my way, that's exactly what we'd do, is express ourselves individually, but love and support one another collectively.
You've been around Zach Martin now for a number of years. I was curious, what do you think has made him so great at this level, and what are some of the qualities that you respect most about him?
Yeah, I mean, he's a pro. He's a pro on and off the field. He does things the right way. He leads the right way. He leads by example. He's somebody that I can look up to and look to in any moment, whether it's on the field or off the field, if it's preparation, preparing for a team, whatever it may be. Zach Martin's the guy that leads the way by his actions and simply by just doing the right thing all the time.
Dak, without any preseason games and not having fans be able to come to training camp, I was wondering, what would you tell a Cowboy fan who hasn't seen you guys play at all this offseason? What should they
Yeah, a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement on both sides of the ball, especially on the sideline without having the stands full. As we'll definitely be supporting one another. We'll show the brotherhood and the culture that we've created. But you're going to see a lot of excitement between the lines. A bunch of guys that love to play the game and that are going to support each other through it all. So I'm excited for it. Excited to show fans what this team has been about and growing towards.
Speaking of fans, what did you think of the fake fan noise?
Say again?
Speaking of fans, what did you think of that fake fan noise during the blue and white scrimmage? It was the first time we heard it, first time for you guys?
Yeah, first time for us, but I mean, especially in my position, you kind of block that stuff out early. So as I walked out on the field, I heard it, but I couldn't say that it affected me or I thought about it in any moment past that.
Yeah, considering the position you play and who you play for, how do you compartmentalize everything and just focus on what you have to do when there's so much going on around?
One more time on that one.
How do you compartmentalize everything that you have to do when there's so much going around you guys and around you personally, your contract this week, who you're
Gotcha.
playing the next week? How do you just focus on what you need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I seize the moment, focus on the now. I think it's very important to me to do exactly that and not to be distracted or not to put too much focus anywhere other than what it is that I'm doing now. I mean, right now I'm on the call with you guys, and here in a couple of minutes I'll be out in a mock game. So I mean, I think it's important for me to focus and put my energy towards whatever it is that I'm blessed to do at that moment. And I found that that's allowed me to be the best of my ability in whatever it is in all aspects, is by not cheating one thing, by thinking about it while I'm doing another. And as I said, just stay focused, to be honest.
Thanks, guys. We got to run.